if healthy, he's 20 points a game. And that, to me, that's not a bust. Like, you know, now, if you consider, if you're the #1 overall pick and you don't make the Hall of Fame, I don't know about any of that. But this guy, this young man, we saw it in the preseason. You saw it at the highest levels of college basketball. In the world of the greatest athletes in the world, he is a 1%er of the 1%ers. And so it is concerning to me as someone who, bless you, makes his living and has gotten such an enormous part of the individual joy in my life outside of my family by watching superhuman athletes do superhuman things. It's not just that this guy is a great basketball player. It's that he's one of the special athletes. And that's one of the reasons I love the NBA. Like KD, for example, coming out of Texas, we knew he'd be amazing.
Right.
And his skill set was unique. And the fact that he's a 7-footer could do it. But he didn't, for me, give me the thrill watching that someone who looks like they can fly can. And that's what Zion can. And so I still would say superstar. But a knee injury before you play one NBA game is about the worst case scenario. And that's the track he's on, and I hate it.
And he's had 3 knee injuries of varying degrees in the last year or so.
3 injuries with a bigger frame, with a knee that has to carry that bigger frame.
There's some people around the league do think if he loses too much weight, he's no longer Zion. Like, part of what makes him so great is his size and his bulk, and he can go through and over and around people.
I agree with that, by the way.
Well, I see where they're coming from, but here's my thing. If he's already 285, if he loses 25 pounds and he's 260, you're still big and huge, especially when you're only 6'6", 6'7", so he still will have that power. I have some concerns, like you, obviously, everybody has to be concerned about his health. I have a few concerns about his game. You know, obviously he doesn't shoot it that well, mid-range or the 3. However, I'm going superstar. I like his personality. I like it. I think he'll work hard. I think he'll work on the elements of his game he's not that good at. And what he does best, we know, is attack the basket. And it is easier than ever to get to the rim in the NBA. Easier than ever. I mean, first of all, the floor is spread. You can't hand check anybody. And a lot of teams funnel you to the mid-range. They want to run you off the three-point line, so they're funneling you to the mid-range. And there are very few rim protectors. So you push this guy to the mid-range, and then he's going to be able to go over anybody at the rim. So I'm with you, Nick. And what I love about him is that he should be able to get you 20-some-odd points, 10 rebounds, without you really running a lot for him.
Correct.
So
fast breaks, offensive rebounds, he should be able to get 14 again.
Right.
So you only need like 6 points in the half court to get to 20, and I think he's a plus defender. Maybe not on ball, and rookies are never plus defenders, but he's such a freak athlete, and
he's
saw
gonna
him
be a weak side
shot blocker, even closing out guys on 3-pointers.
Look, you guys can stick to the basketball side of it. I'll stick to the side I know. He's not going to lose 20 pounds if he's not in the game playing. He does need to lose a little bit of weight. Him sitting on the bench right now and rehabbing, the reason that he may lose 20 pounds in the first couple months of his season is because you're out there burning so many calories every night. Him being out since when? A couple months now, and it might be a little bit more. I think he's going to have gained weight before he goes back in. There's no way he's losing weight, especially not 20 pounds.
Well, not right now, I agree with you, but he's going to need a concerted program that's not based on you playing in the games, but in the off season or whatever, where you, like Charles Barkley did it. You know, he said he lost 30 pounds, something like that.
Wasn't in his first
That's what
year.
he's going to need.
Well,
no, but it needs to be soon.
No, I'm saying it needs to be soon, and I don't
maybe in this off season or something.
I don't know if it needs to be soon or not. What I do know is this. If he stays healthy, his basement is Blake Griffin. Basement. Now, Blake turned into a better outside shooter.
Yes.
Blake reinvented himself. The first 5 years, Blake Griffin. Let me do that. Good rebounder, good, decent defender, and amazing above-the-rim guy who, if you have the right team around and going to play at the right pace, can be dynamic. That's why I don't think bust is on the table. And by the way, I don't think Greg Oden was a bust because it was injury. Okay. You know what I mean? Who's the guy the Cavs took #1 overall?
Anthony Bennett.
Anthony Bennett. Sorry, Anthony. He's a bust. He just never worked out. But bust or not, I want Zion to be an all-timer. We get athletes like this once every 10 years if we're lucky. a meniscus injury before he plays his first game that now seems to be delayed in the return. To me, it's really concerning. And sports-wise, it's sad. And so I know it seems too dramatic, but I love watching.
The weight loss was very dramatic.
Yeah, I understand. I love watching these guys do things that they're the only people in the world who can do.
There are some people that I've heard say, well, he should sit out the whole year. And my thing is this, look, at some point you have to play.
Basketball
I'm really getting tired, and it's not just basketball. I'm really getting tired of the sit them out, you know, because we're not winning this year. At some point, you got to play, and if a guy gets hurt, it just was in the car.
Right, but you don't rush him
No,
back.
don't rush him back.
But
if he's ready to play in January,
healthy, go play.
Regardless of where the Pelicans are.
Yes, I mean, you got to play at some point.
All right, we got to take a break. Coming up, why are the Chiefs giving the Patriots bulletin board material? That's next on First Things First.
Please.
Please. This holiday, we're talking about the Lakers, who seem to be making history on a nightly basis. The latest coming Sunday, when Anthony Davis and LeBron James became the first Lakers teammates to combine for 70-plus points in consecutive games since Kobe and Shaq did it back in 2003. But LeBron shunned talk of the big picture greatness, saying, "I live too much in the moment." Broussard, will the 21-3 Lakers be an historically great team?
Well, first
That's just a great start.
I love LeBron's answer. That's exactly what you should say. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Stay in the moment. One, because it's the politically right thing to say, and it's the right example for your team. But also, that's what they need to do. Don't get ahead of yourself. Look, obviously, they got to win the championship. I think they need to win about 66 games or more. They'll probably do that barring some type of major load management in the second half of the season. But I want to see more. And I picked the Lakers to win it all in the preseason. Obviously, you got to feel good about that pick. But I still want to see more. Number one, we've seen this before. The Bucks, heck, they're 21-3 too. Okay, the Boston Celtics a few years ago, Kyrie Irving's first year there, they started 22-4. We know Golden State over the course of a whole season went 73-9.
What did they start 24-0 that year?
Yes, under Luke Walton.
Yep.
And so we've seen great starts before. The key is to finish it, and that's what they have to do. So I as confident as I am in the Lakers winning this, I'm not as confident in them being the best team in the league as I was, say, in the KD, Steph, Golden State Warriors, who I just knew would win the championship. So I have to see more. They haven't had the toughest schedule. They're 5-3 against teams 500 or better. Great weekend, you know, when they beat Denver and Utah and even Portland.
And superb road record.
Yes.
They've done it away from home something, because I think most people right now acknowledge Lakers and Bucks are the two best teams in the league, but a lot of people think the Clippers are the next best.
The Clippers are
and
right
the Clippers,
there.
Despite the win last night, have a losing record on the road. I have no interest, and neither should LeBron nor Anthony Davis, about some historically great team. Who are the historically great teams? There is no defined list. We all agree the 72-win Bulls are the best. I think most people agree the best team ever because they won 70 and won the title. The Warriors won 73 games and had the first ever unanimous MVP. And that guy right there snatched it from them. So now nobody considers them a historically great team. Because of the start they've gotten out to, they are